Hello, welcome back to Learn Economia. In this video, we are going to look into a very important topic, just gig economy. Many of you might be wondering about what gig economy is. Many of you might be aware of the same. In this video, we are going to explain the details of gig economy, what gig economy is, and what are its implications with respect to its positive effects, negative effects, and what is the future of gig economy. All these things would be discussed in this video. Also, why gig economy is important in today's scenario. These would be the subject matters of today's video. With that, we are starting discussion. Okay. A gig economy is actually a free market system where temporary positions are very much common, and what organizations or institutions do is that these would be hiring independent workers. And here you have to be very sure by giving importance to short-term commitments. Institutions would be hiring personals, or when they would be hiring persons from the labor market, but these would be for a short-term period. In a gig economy, the works would be temporary, jobs would be flexible, and companies would be hiring independent contractors, freelancers, etc. Instead of full-time employers. Gig economy, as a result, you can see that it is connecting clients with the person, clients or customer with the person who are offering service. So this would be benefiting workers, businesses, consumers, etc. And also this would be making certain problems to these people. So we'll be having a detailed discussion of all these things in today's session. So in simple words, you can see that gig is actually a slang, which is a word for job that lasts for a specific period of time. Specific in the sense that the period of job would be specified prior to the date in which a person enters the job. Examples include freelancers, independent contractors, project-based workers, temporary, part-time workers, etc. So, in a world where technology is ruling, in a world where everything is controlled by digital equipment, all these things are happening, gig economy is playing a very important role. This is actually a very recent trend, especially after Corona and all. This has become a very recent, and now it has considered to be it has got a wide reach as well. So this gig economy concept is gaining importance day by day. Here, workforce has become more mobile, and also work is increasingly done via digital platforms, which means that gig economy is gaining importance day by day. Employers can select the best person for a specific project because they will be getting applications from a large number of respondents. From that, they can go through the applications and they can make some kind of shortlisting, and from the shortlist they would be getting the right candidate for the right job. The cultural impact of gig economy continues to change, especially after COVID-19 and all. So, and in the future also it is expected to get changed. Gig economy would be consisting of freelancers, as I have already told, project-based workers, temporary workers, etc. In a gig economy, there would be large number of people who will be taking works of part-time nature or temporary positions. So people who don't use technological services in today's world, they are the ones who are in a disadvantaged position. Disadvantageous position in the sense that these people are not able to be gig workers. They are not able to get the services of workers as well. So you can see that colleges and universities in various states, in not only in India but also in many other countries, they are getting the services of gig workers, and they will be getting the services of very expert professors and all at a very low cost, because they are getting the services for a temporary period or a temporary duration. Expert expect this kind of working number to rise in future years. Employers have a wide range of applicants to choose from, as I have already told, and from these they can choose the right candidate for the right job. There have been many economic reasons which also factor into the development of a gig economy. Uh, if employers are not able to afford full-time workers, they have an option to go for part-time workers. It is also common to change careers many times throughout a lifetime if you are a gig worker. In 2020, the gig economy has experienced a significant increase as gig workers have delivered necessity to homebound customers as well. So, here what you have to see is like employers, they will have to plan for changes from work to work. What is an example of a gig economy? As I have already told you, freelancers, coaching centers, fitness training, tutoring, all these would be coming under gig working, because gig economy are those jobs that individual would discover and access through online platforms. And this job or service is exchanged for cash, and there is no other benefits such as any kind of insurance given for gig workers. This is one of the demerit of gig work. Common jobs here would include accounting, where you can go as an independent consultant. In the case of administration, you can act as administrative assistants. In the case of art and design, you can act as musicians or graphic designers. In the case of construction, you can be carpenters or traders with respect to construction and activities. In the arena of education, you can be instructors or tutors. With respect to freelance writing, you can be a content writer or a copywriter. With respect to information technology, there are a wide variety of jobs available, ranging from information security engineers to network analysts. Then, in the arena of media and communication, you can act as technical writers or photographers. With respect to project management, you can act as a manager or something else with respect to the project. Then in the arena of software development, you can uh, act as a development engineer or user experience person. With respect to transportation, you can go for ride as drivers. So these are certain jobs available in the gig economy or gig market. So, as I have already told you, the gig economy has got a wide array of advantages. Uh, so, with respect to businesses, in the business sector, this is something which this gig economy is something which enables to save a lot of money as well as resources, because you are not giving any kind of insurance, or you are not giving any kind of uh, extra money to the gig workers. What for whatever they do, you are paying for them. You are not paying any extra for these kind of workers, and also you are actually not providing any office space or equipment or training to these kinds of workers, because these people will be working on a basis of work from home basis. A gig model also enables business to contract with experts who might be too expensive, because in this case they are not engaging, and they are not using the service of expert workers for a full-time basis. They are just taking their service on a part-time basis, so it would be less expensive. From workers point of view, you can see that this will be something which help to improve the work life balance. If you compare gig work with traditional jobs, this is something which you can find in gig work. Independent workers are able to select freelance jobs in whatever area they are interested in, and they don't get stuck in a full-time job, and if they don't want to continue with a particular job, they have the flexibility to move away from that job and find a new job. So this is one of the very important option offered by gig work. From a consumer's perspective, you can see the consumers, they are able to find this model with a lot of choices and convenience. There are high quality services available, and these are offered at a lower prices. So from the perspective of consumers also, gig work offers certain advantages. So you can see that, and also from employers perspective, they have the option to choose from a large number of workers, so they'll be getting the right candidate for the right job. And uh, as I have already told, this kind of hiring persons would be affordable to the company, because they will be able to get good quality service at cheap rate. As I have already told you, gig work or gig economy is not free from criticisms. Workers who prefer a traditional career path, they have some security which is offered by the employer. But in the case of gig work, you don't have any kind of security, and also you are not covered by any kind of insurance in the case of gig work. You can see that in the present day, especially when our country is connected with the rest of the world via different means, the competition for gigs has increased. So this will be making problems in the labor market. And because of the fluid nature of gig economy, transactions and relationship, long-term relationship between workers, employers, all these kinds of things are something which would be erased. So this will be something which would be eliminating the benefits which flow from building a long-term trust. So you won't be able to find a long term trust between the employer and the employee in the case of gig works, because your relationship would be just temporary, not permanent. So, as I have already told, there will be lack of benefits such as insurance, other benefits, etc., which company would be provided to you if you are gig workers. And also, coming to the work-life management challenges, you can see that gig work can be a bit disruptive if the worker isn't used to making his or her own schedule. If you are inexperienced, if you are not that experienced, then it will be very problematic for you to deal with overtime work and all. Now also, there is insecurity and also inconsistent income with respect to gig work. And coming to the work culture, it is very difficult to get have a consistent relationship with your employer. And when temporary positions are all that are available, workers can find it difficult to establish and develop their career. What are the factors which affect gig work, which is very important? Digitalization, as I've already told you. If you are a person who do not have a laptop or internet connection or a smartphone with you, you are not fit for gig work, because this is very much important. Internet connectivity is something that is inevitable if you are going for a gig work. In some cases, digitalization has decreased job available as software replaces some of the gig workers or other types of workers, whatever it may be. And in the case of flexibility, this you can see that this include financial pressures on business, leading to more flexible workforce, expanded or contracted quickly. So what you need is like flexibility. So flexibility is a factor which affect your gig work. And generational effect, if you compare an older generation and younger generation, you can see that younger generation are able to adapt to the changes more easily compared to older generation, because younger generation are used to the modern technological equipments and all, compared to older generation. Coming to a very recent scenario of COVID-19, you can see that this pandemic has increased the number of gig workers in the world. So the growing digital marketplace and gig economy have helped this COVID pandemic stricken world. For example, some traditional restaurants, etc., are actually using the service of gig workers. There have been lot of approaches used by different people to define gig work. Some definitions are based on work arrangement, like the contractual nature of work, where your relationship with the company or your employer would be something based on your contract. And standard workers, they have a long-term employer-employee relationship. Outside of that arrangement, work tends to be temporary, right? So in some cases, you can see that you have an employer, but the company that pays the worker is different than the one which and than the one at which they work. So these kinds of arrangements are known as alternative or non-standard work arrangements. Other definitions would be something which is based on the difference between employees and independent contractors. In many cases, you can see that the temporary agency, subcontracted work, all these things is issued by the contracting company rather than the company where the gig worker work. There are other definitions based on the nature of work or what people actually do on a day-to-day basis. This depends upon the flexibility of your work. Given the diversity of non-standard work, these characteristics are seen as either positive or negative. There have been many surveys which look into the gig workers, their living status, what they get, how they experience, what is their opinion with respect to the work they do, etc. So, what is the future of gig work? Having understood the meaning of gig work, the importance of gig work, the advantages, its disadvantages, let's see what is the future of gig work. We know that gig workers, the number of these category of people, this is something which is increasing day by day, especially in a scenario of COVID-19 pandemic. This indicated that the numbers have increased. But if you look into the case of 2020, you can see that the numbers have experienced a decline. This is due to the physical proximity concerns inherited to service activities like house cleaning, ride sharing, etc. But data after that suggests that gig work has quickened a rebound. It has rebounded, that too very quickly rebounded to unprecedented levels with economic recovery in 2020-21, and this is what is continuing till now. Still it is continuing to increase. It has been increasing day by day. With the help of technological advancement, with the help of potential to facilitate further increases in gig work participation, the number of gig workers has been increasing. Online platform technology has made new forms of work possible. Perhaps most significantly, the advent of gig work is not an isolated trend, but you can see that with globalization, with technological advancement, all these kinds of things, the number of gig workers has been increasing day by day. So, seen in this light, non-standard and gig work is a fundamental component of today's economy. So, is unlikely to dissipate soon. So that's what we could understand. But you have to understand that in 2017, the contingent worker supplement shows that the number of people relying on alternative work arrangement for their main job has remained stable over the past 20 years. In fact, current growth rates are unsustainable. If the observed growth of Uber drivers continued unabated, every American worker would be an Uber driver in 5 years. So, to the individual working in gig economy, it is something which is worth it. Studies show that 79% of workers who work in a gig economy are very much satisfied with what they do compared to traditional workers. So that's all for today. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more videos, and you can be a part of my Telegram channel as well as Telegram group to discuss your doubts. I'll be providing the links of both my Telegram channel and Telegram group in the description box. You can join through that. That's it. Thank you.